Hey guys, Gambit here, and I'm going to do something which I haven't done on this channel before, and I'm going to have a little bit of a rage video, so consider yourselves forewarned if that's not your kind of thing. Earlier today, reports began to surface from a press event in Spain that the new Resident Evil Revelations 2 was going to contain microtransactions for continues. Now, according to an article in Kotaku, who actually reached out to Capcom, two PR representatives from Capcom did actually confirm that this is correct. However, there are two important caveats in knowing this. The first is that the rules for continues only apply to raid mode and not to story mode. The second is that extra lives can be earned in raid mode to continue by completing quests and daily events and not necessarily making it microtransactions. Now, this may surprise you, but I actually have a problem with this. Now, the first is that the game is already episodic. They've confirmed that Resident Evil Revelations 2 is going to be a game which, like a lot of games from Telltale that come in episodes like Wolf Amongst Us and Borderlands the pre-sequel. So we will presumably be paying for each chapter that get released over a course of time rather than a single completed game. The second, and probably my biggest problem, is that this is a very, very slippery slope. You have people in the industry like Bobby Kotick, who is the president of Activision, who has made no secret about his desire to charge gamers per month or even per day for full price games after purchase. What kind of precedent does this actually set? Up until now, there has been no company which has actually been forthright or just flat out ballsy enough to actually try and charge for continues for a game that you've already purchased. We're used to this kind of thing in freemium games. I'm fine if people want to try and do this for my mobile games, if they want to try and do it for something on the App Store. That's something that's to be expected. But if I'm paying for a game that I own, then to be able to just continue at any point is a given, I think. I think there should be no expectation at all that I should have to be charged for continues regardless of what mode I'm actually playing. It doesn't matter whether it's story mode, whether it's raid mode, whether I'm in the options menu. I shouldn't have to be charged for something that I already own. You might say to yourself that there are models out there which already establish this, games like World of Warcraft or just MMOs in general. And I would debate that because games like World of Warcraft are absolutely huge. They're enormous in scale and size. It takes you well over hours to be able to actually just traverse the land itself, let alone see what's inside of that. Whereas we're talking about here an episodic game, which is probably not going to take you more than about 2 hours per episode if previous episodic games are anything to go by. Second of all, games like World of Warcraft or in that model don't charge you for continues. They charge you a single overall price for a game which, unless you bought it at launch like I did, probably cost you about $5. Whereas this, we're talking about an episodic game, we're talking about buying this game in installments, so if you want the entire story, it's probably going to cost you similar to a full price game, maybe something less, depends on the pricing model that they go with. Point is that they are really comparing apples and oranges here. The third is that Capcom already has a very bad track record with microtransactions. Those of you who are familiar with Street Fighter Cross Tekken will know that that game was essentially buried by its microtransactions and the way that they handled on-disc DLC, which is another way of controlling content which you've already paid for. That was a game which, it was fun, it worked, it was functional, it was a competent fighting game, but it was completely and utterly abandoned by the community 6 months to a year after it was launched, purely because people just weren't prepared to put up with the way that Capcom was treating them for new characters, for new costumes, for colors for their characters, and of course for the infamous gems. Now, I want to go on the record saying that I do love the Resident Evil series. People who have been following my channel for a long time will obviously know that we just finished a playthrough of RE4, and I've played every single main brand RE game to date. I've played Resident Evil 5 multiple times, despite the fact that it's not really that good. And I actually played 6 all the way through, despite the fact that that really wasn't very good. But this is too much. I will forgive Capcom for a lot of things because I like them. I like Capcom. They have a lot of great brands and franchises. I love Resident Evil. I love Devil May Cry. I love Street Fighter, but this is just too damn much. I can't do this. I am not going to support this game at launch. I am not going to recommend to any of you that you check it out. Obviously that's your own choice to make, but please, we really need to send a message to Capcom that this is just not acceptable, because as soon as people do this and it becomes accepted, what is next? What follows on from here? Do you really think the companies like Activision or EA or anyone else will just look at that and say, well, people paid for continues, that's cool, why aren't we doing that? You know, there's just no chance. They're going to see that as a Pandora's box which has been opened, and there is just no way we'll ever be able to get it closed after that. Anyways, that's going to do it for this first and hopefully one-time angry rant of mine. Lastly, I would like to give a shout out to my good friend J-Dog Ninja. This guy's a great editor. He has a lot of videos on his page that specialize in skate games, and I'm about to show you just one little clip of what he's capable of doing. So I recommend that you guys check his site out, give it a look, show him some love, and until next time, I will catch you guys later.